Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Kaone. And yes, this is Leeto with me, Kaone. And man, today is the most highly anticipated video of all times, whereby people were like, no ma'am, we see you putting people on the spot, we see you asking people about their journeys, we want to know your journey. So Vula has literally bed me to it. Listen, today is the day. We want to know about your journey. I've had flu for a very long time. But initially, I've had a video up when I first started this channel, and the individuals are not in my life anymore. And I want to keep it that way. We forgive people, but we keep them at arm's length. And yeah, honestly, it's it's that. So I just felt like, you know what, this one video needs to go. I don't think I want it here. I don't want people to associate me with certain individuals anymore. It's on growth, and that's that. So yeah, let's go. Let's literally dive right into it. I'm gonna literally give the camera to Vula and literally be on the hot seat. I'm literally on the hot seat. So I really hope you enjoy it. I'm so nervous because I don't know what the questions are. And now I really feel it because now people are always asked questions and they don't know what to expect. So I'm really hoping, and I hope I'm going to be as honest as I can. And yeah, I hope I don't break down. I hope I'm not going to be emotional because I know myself. And yeah, anyways, let's just dive right into it. Vulamazo literally opened it on her side and let's get and see this. What's going on with Leeto Intense?
Thokozani people. This is Vula Zulu Tizakaji. On the ones and Tuesday. And today we have the one and only Umkulu Wangani. Okay, Thokozani Mkulu.
Thokozani Kedla.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thokozani Mkulu. How are you feeling today? Let's start there.
After a week of not literally stepping out, I stepped out yesterday after a very long time.
Yeah.
And I must say, it felt a bit weird, but I've recovered. Yo, guys, this flu is not, don't take it light.
Yeah.
Please don't take it light. Everybody. Yeah, but I'm actually recovering quite well. Thank you so much for asking.
We are glad for like
Emma.
So that no, I represent the cool.
Okay.
So to start things off on a lighter note, who are you? Who is Kaone? I don't know who is Kaone. Rasgar who's Wangani. I don't know who is Kaone Nkosi.
How far do we stretch it?
Okay, Kaone Nkosi,
okay. Lina Lameke Kaone, obviously Kaone Mudumo in full. Nkosi, for those of you who do not know already. I'm from Mahikeng. I was born and bred in Mahikeng. This is where I grew up. This is where I went to school. And yeah, this is where my journey started. And I'm a media practitioner by profession. I'm still studying further, going into a different field of study. I won't be indulging over divulging about that because I don't really do jokes. But I'm an academic at heart. But it's just that time does not allow. I'm a gobela, I'm a healer. I'm an all-rounder. I think everything that I touch turns to gold.
Period.
Anyways, I'm a lover of life. I love traveling. I'm alone in most cases. I'm not one with friends. Yeah, Gemusability as well. You always know where I'm at. I'm very focused. I'm minding my own business, but people are really bothered by that. And church, mostly alone. How ratan you and I will get along.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm really such a bubbly soul. I believe when you're around me, I'm really quite fun. I tend to think and believe that, and I think I'm a gem. Listen to me blowing my own horn. But yeah, basically the long and short version of it, I'm just a lover of life. The world is my oyster. I believe that you can do anything that I put my mind to it. I'm a hard worker. I'm willing to go after everything that they said I can't have. So
okay, so cool. Now I okay. So Arvega your gift. When did you start noticing or money? There's something different about me. And so forth.
Yikes, my gift. Okay, so basically what happened was my mom started going after family, you know. I mean, most of you guys know my sister who's a prophetess, and fortunately for her, she didn't have to go through the struggles. And I started going to my mom at a very, very tender age, right? Because obviously she could not live with my sister at that time. And then I saw what she went through, man, and I was like, hey, dude, I don't want this for myself. Because I think with a lot of people that know Bongaka from Kale, know what people literally went through a lot. And I felt like, you know what, I wanted to be different if ever it happens to me, but I've never really wanted to be a healer, right? So then I started having very weird dreams, you know, like every time when my mom would now go, like my mom would toss it like 4 times, right? And then when my mom went, obviously Gobela won't have everything that you need. And then when Newaha is big, the challenges are hectic, you know, to complete the puzzle. So well, it's not always the case. Gobela has, especially Mondao, not everybody can actually, you know, do it to the T. So I think that was one of the issues. But maybe we'd have an interview with her one time, let her tell her story. And then every time my mom comes back, because there was a time whereby I was staying back with my sister Hans at Vula a lot. Every time my mom comes back, I'd have dreams of her coming back. I'd have dreams of snakes. Man, it was wild. I could have dreams of things that would happen. I grew up as a child only. I'm very outspoken. And I'd say things as they were. And I'd just see you and say, I don't like you. And I would not really be rude, but it's a thing. There's just something about you. I could tell. Energy. I could tell energy from afar.
Energy doesn't lie.
You know, and growing up, all these dreams, but I would not really tell my dreams. I've never really done, Mama, 1, 2, 3, but I'd just be scared or frightened or just wake up in the middle of the dream. This, and then I go back to sleep. And then I started seeing things. I started being able to predict things. I remember there was a time when I was going on a trip with my cousin, and on that specific day we were supposed to travel, I was telling her that I'm not feeling good about today's travel. Can we just maybe postpone it to tomorrow? She was adamant that she wanted to leave, and I was like, hey, dude, let me just take a nap. And then, we'll just leave. And then after that, everything went south, my nigga, you know? From, why am I saying my name? Everything went south. And I'm telling her, then she lost her phone. And I'm like, I know who took your phone. When a certain kind of person walks out of the bus, your phone will start to ring, because we tried to call the phone and then the phone was not reachable. But the moment the certain individual that I told her about got off the bus, we called her phone, magically it started. She's like, no, man, that's just that's just, coincidence, whatever, you know? And then it happened that we made a stop. I think I was around 14. Yeah, I was around 14. And then we made a stop before we came straight to Mafikeng. And then people were taking their stuff off the bus, class. And initially, before we went into the bus, back station, I did tell her, you know what, I do not trust us having our bags down here. Let's go inside with our bags. She's like, no, man. Dude, there's a whole compartment for luggage. Why do we want to take our stuff upstairs, you know? With us and stuff. And then when we got there, I told her, you know what, and she's like, dude, who would do that? People are just taking their stuff and then baholo. Only to find that that's exactly what had happened. We got there, her bag was open and people literally thrifted from her bag. So she was like, listen, from now on, I'm going to start believing your theories, you know? And then from there on, I started having very weird dreams and these things would happen. I started having dreams of my great parents. I'd tell my mom, hey, this is who I saw in my dream. This is what they were telling me. And, you know, and then I then started with my mom, without even being trained. I'd go in with her, and then my sister had a dream where I was supposed to go with my mom every time I had class, but then I started doing that. And it was very weird my first time because I was like, okay, what am I expected to say? What am I supposed to do? Because I mean, I was not trained at that point. So then I started going with it. I just took it like, okay, cool, no man, this is just chilled stuff. I'm just going to do this and then we move on. Honestly, I didn't want this for myself because I had bigger plans. I had bigger dreams for myself. And I felt like being a healer is not part of it, you know? Then, these dreams started being intense. Next thing, I start being sick. Every time I have to go to school, I'm sick. Every time I go to Leeto, I'm fine. Every time I get to school, I start seeing things. There was this kid, I'm not even going to say her name. Every time she'd see me, she'd start being weird, you know, and I'd start seeing things and she was from a different race. And people started being very weird with me. I'd have dreams of my schoolmates, and then the next week, the same exact thing would happen. I'd lose friends. People start taking like people start saying stuff about me. Rumors. People don't want to sit with me anymore. Now I'm alone. You know when you're I started being sick of often. My attendance at school was bad, but lucky for me, my grades were good. You know, I'd drop a bit, yes, but I'd never fail. That's one thing that I loved about my guides. But I really struggled. There was a time where I started feeling like I'm losing my mind because anything that has to do with church or badimo sekupu, I'd fall. Like making a tech. I was seeing things people did not see. And then, you know, somebody was telling me about my journey the other time that was there and experienced everything when I was going through it. Like, listen, and no like to a point whereby my mom was so frustrated to a point of not knowing because also she's still young. Like, I can't take her to knowing what goes down, you know. And then I had to like find somebody when my mom was not around because my sister was working then. Nothing because it was that bad whereby I was just in my own world in most cases. It was just you know, until a point where my mom was like, hey, you know what, at least I fit school so that, you know, and things just went worse. You know, it went worse. I was always sick, in and out of hospital. I was diagnosed with bronchopneumonia at one point. My nails were gray. I was losing weight. I could not eat. In and out of hospital. Next thing, I've got algae in my tubes. How did it get there? Next thing, you start being diagnosed with things that don't make sense. Look at how you got it, and also it's a rare case of somebody having that, you know, and the symptoms are not there. Next thing, I've got TB. How? I've never even coughed. Like, flu. You know, that was the most difficult part of my life because I was put on medication. I was always in and out of hospital, the drip and all of that. There was a point whereby they were like, there's nothing that we can do. We need to discharge her. We can't keep her giving her medication because they ran tests. They were taking chunks of blood. Like, no, okay, blood can be in chunks, but anyways, everything went down slope. You know, I was a very good netball player. I used to play netball. Netball was close to my heart. I believe that at this point, I'd even be in the squads of South Africa. Shout out to Didin Klikibine. That was our dream, you know, and I loved netball. I knew after school I'm going to go to a varsity, I'm going to play netball. And then I went to play for the district team at the age of 15. Under 19 district team, and then I made it for the team for Betrayal. It's a squad. I was super excited. Weeks before then, I get a dream. If ever I go to the trials, I'm like, there's no way. What do you mean? I've been practicing. I've been training my whole life. 2 weeks before, I had a game at school because I was playing for the school's team. Like a injury ankle. Now I had to make sure that my coach does not see that with the district team, because if ever I can't go, we had to go for scientific training. Obviously, if I go to scientific training, they pick up that I have an injury. Obviously, I can't go. I had to make means, dude. I sucked up the scientific training. I managed to fake it until I made it. It was painful. It was terrible. My coach called me to the side and said, "Kaone, you're injured." I was like, "No, I'm not injured. And I'll be okay. I'm ready. You know how much I want this. I've been practicing." We went to East London 2011. I couldn't make it to the squad because then I hurt my knee. I hurt my knee and my ankles on top of that. So I was not performing at my best. It was the worst experience of my entire being. Man, I remember how hurt I was. And I still was like, you know what? I don't want this, my niggas. I came back to this. I came back to this thing. I've seen how my mom suffered. I acknowledge that my ancestors are there. I don't have any problem with that, right? But I just don't want the path for myself. Until a certain point whereby I really had to start, because it was a matter of life and death. I was getting messages through dreams. I was getting messages through visions of my life being taken away. And then my mom was also told, listen, this is the last step. This is our last act of love. We're taking her. Yeah, it was a very painful and hard decision for my mom to take. But she was like, you know what, baby girl, you know how life has been for you. I'm really trying to be as short as possible, because obviously there was a lot of events that built up to me too. But I'm really trying to, gather and give you a picture. And then, my mom was like, listen, if you want to be well and you know the pains that you've been going through, we've been in and out of hospital, we've been seeing specialists, I think you just need to accept it, my angel. And once you've accepted it, you are done, you're going to be fine, and you're going to continue with life. I was like, okay, we can do that. We can do that. I started, my mom came as per instruction. She refused for the longest until I had to prove beyond reasonable doubt to my ancestors. This is what they say, because it's very difficult for Motsadi to take Mwana Kolefetlong, because Banaba Sutli, people are doing the weirdest of things to kids. Kids are being raped. It's hectic, So my mom Ambulel, after a certain while, I was supposed to go to Mpumalanga. After that, I came back. After that, it was Lesotho. After that, years later, I had to go to Mozambique. Like you've seen on the videos. It was dreadful, man. Especially after when I thought I was done, then possibility came knocking. And I was like, God, what is this? And I was like, okay, cool, I'm just gonna push this. I need to just push it and get it downwards. After I was like, God, look at you. I'm done, so I can go back home. And coming back home, I thought it was going to be smooth sailing. That was the plot twist. Now the struggle was having to practice. I felt like, listen, I don't want to practice. You guys, you said, I did what you guys wanted, but now you guys want me to practice. It took me years to make peace with the fact that I have to be a healer, heal people. And accepting that, because being a healer at that time was not a thing, and people saw you as moloi, people saw you as being weird. Why would your parents take you out of all the things, It was not as accepted and not frowned upon like it is now. And it was difficult, and that was not what I wanted for myself. I shied away from it for a long time. I was very shy to show that side of my life for a very long time. I hid it very well until I came up with Leeto. That's when a lot of people were like, wait, what? And a lot of people thought I came back from Turkey. And it's been over a decade since I've been a healer. So.
Okay. Now, I work your journey. From your journey, and from everything that you've experienced, up until today.
The journey depresses you. The journey is very depressing. I don't want to lie. I think we need to go to counseling, guys, because if also the environment that you're in, also coming to terms with it and understanding because they communicate in different ways. And knowing exactly what is expected of you, bro. Like, losing people in your life and changing drastically. But what I learned was that life has to change. That's just the biggest thing that I learned, life has to change, and Khotwasa changes you as an individual. Comparing who I am right now and who I was back then, it's totally two different people. And hey man, it leaves you scarred at one point. Yeah, I don't want to lie. No matter how somebody tried to make it easy. Starting off, my mom was not even that lenient with me because you know. And having to leave and go to Mpumalanga, that was the worst period of my life because of what I've seen and what I went through and what I experienced there, you know. It was very traumatic. And if somebody's not your mom, I mean, if my mom was strict with me, but obviously there's a part where she's like, but getting to Mpumalanga, is not easy. It always has challenges. From what I've experienced and what people have been saying, and I've realized actually it's a problem when it comes to men, but not all of them. I'm not going to take them bad, but I've had my own fair share of unfortunate experiences. I'm not going to talk about it here. We are not here for that. For those that know, it's good. But I was not obsessed about that because I think I get so obsessed about what happens to them, even their gobelas, that they forget why they've started their journey. And it literally, it draws them back and progress, you know. But one thing that I've learned, man, is that life changes and it's really, really difficult to pick up yourself, especially if you don't have support. What else I've learned is that people will leave. People will leave. You will be called names. Things will be fabricated. Kaone. Yeah, it's the bitter truth. But yeah, that's what I've learned. Life changes, man, and it changes you. That's the biggest. I've learned also. I've seen their work in my life and I've seen the differences since then, because I mean Kholala obviously no, but now badimo, when they want you to do something else and sans
Now let's talk about your transition from being in jail just Kaone to being a Gobela now. From thinking that you're done Utwasite and everything, now babes come this Gobela, let's do this. How was that transition for you?
Man, that is
hey man.
I'm trying not to be emotional because life has not been easy on me. Not because no. My ancestors have not made my life easy. And first and foremost, I don't want people to get me wrong. When you've done well for your ancestors, you will not suffer. They will make sure that you're good. And it's unfortunate because the suffering is part of the journey, you know, and there's really no other way around that. Vula Mazulu, it was hard because initially I did not want to be a healer. You know, I still have those days where I'm just like, I never wanted to be here. I don't know why I'm going through the things that I'm going through, right? But everything is part of the journey.
True.
I mean, I started at home. You're home, but I had to do what I had to do. Obviously, it was not fun and games, but it was lenient until I had to go somewhere else and experience what I experienced. Going there is never nice being in anybody's place, right? Cool. And I was like, okay, this is the thing that I need to get out of the way, and I'll be okay. I'm gonna go back to my life, and I'm gonna live a perfect life. I'm gonna go back to studying, and I'm gonna give myself the best life that I've ever wanted for myself. Okay, cool. Fine. It took me years after Khotwasa Khoberekela. I don't want to lie. That's the one thing that literally challenged me so much, because you remember how Twasa, you are not going to be given everything. You know, in most cases, the Gobela, they don't trust initiates. Regardless whether you are given Sitlaro or not, because I mean, you can't trust people. I mean, we had this conversation earlier, Vula Mazulu, to say, that's the downfall of most Kwabelas, you know. So most of the things I had to learn myself, and as I went through this journey, and my mom would be like, if they will show you how to use them. I don't have to give you everything on a silver platter. It was hard, you know. You're told something about it, and you're just like, where do I start?
Yeah.
What do I do, you know?
Yeah.
And it was difficult. I didn't want to do it. You know, I still don't want to do it, but I have to do it because I don't want to lie to you. But I got very sick. Every time I'd get a job, they'll let me know, okay, you're going to get that job, but not for long. The moment I start relaxing, I feel like, yeah, no, what? It's going great. It's going great. Friends, it's going great. It's going great. When I'm excited, cut. Relationships, it's going great. It's going great. Cut. What they made sure? They made sure. Especially my water guys. Yo, Mundao Hadlali guys. You know, and everything goes perfectly well. If Mundao is complaining about one thing or another, especially if Mundao wants to work, like Nakia Femba, you know, Kiadupa, and if it needs to work, then there are certain things that you need to get through and pass by. You know, it's a lot. I saw flames. It made sure until I went to Mozambique when I knew Koreano. That's when they told me, baby girl, nothing of yours is gonna go well because you do not want to undertake this journey specifically for Mundao. Because I have origins from Mozambique and Mkulu. The day I catch Badim. The day I catch Batimo. And then, yeah, and Vula Mazulu, you know, and I struggled a lot for years. And in Nakhruko Kirikendi Porofeto di Tlaha, Badimo Balela, even Batuba gifted, Badimo Balela, because it's all someone a high. No, it's not too sevat, you know. And I was very skeptical, my nigga. 8 years later, was it 6 years later? Then I went abroad to go further my studies after graduation. After graduation, I worked a bit, Mumzanzi, and then I left. Great opportunity. I was like, what? Deuces! I get there, everything went well. A year passes by. We're at this. I start getting dreams, visions that I'd be told to go to a certain space and I'd go there. I couldn't even keep friends, could take, you know, weird enough. I was the most spiritual intakey, guys. Yo. I think it had to happen because you need to understand Muslims are very, like, you know, and but I prayed like my life depended on it because I'm in a foreign country, I'm alone, and where to from here, you know?
Yeah.
How do I guard myself and guard who I am and where I come from? I prayed, like crazy. I'd go to the Tamota thing, most of the time I found a lot of peace there. I started getting visions that I left South Africa knowing that there were people especially my Lobola at that point. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. If people would be coming to me, because a lot of people didn't even know that I was a healer, but people would have dreams of me and say, and I'm like, hey, guys, please, man, hey, please, you know. And then things started going left, go take. I started getting very sick. I started getting episodes, and I started being scared because I was like, yo, now I'm getting episodes. People start feeling like, what's wrong with you? Because now even. Yeah, I mean, if you're an international student, like you know, and but no, you see, we think you need to see a psychologist. That's when I thought, like, yo, these people start thinking I'm mad now, you know. Things started going south, man. Yo, I remember I wrote an exam 3 times. The results until I had to go to a different school and write the same exam. That's when I got my results. But like, things would just happen, and I'm like, but how, you know? Things started being so difficult. I started being so uncomfortable. I started like, why you fell up, look at you like you say happy. When I pray, I get the same answers. I get the same dreams and visions. You need to go back. You need to go back and heal people. We've given you time. We need to go back. I'm like, but that's not what I want for myself. You wanted me to go. That was the most frustrating part of my life. And I had plans. I had plans. From Turkey, I'm going to the UK. The next day, I was supposed to go to
Washa.
It was amazing. It was vibes. And then I told my mom, I was like, hey, ma'am, you know what? This is what's been going on. I need to come back home. But please go back. I think I go in here. What's here? My mom went to church. She's like, hey, dude, but it's time. You need to come back.
How this?
Mid-COVID, Baba. Mid-COVID, people... Mid-COVID, my nigga. And people were not allowed to leave. We weren't allowed to leave as international students. But I was like to my ancestors, you know what? If this is what you guys want me to do, you'll make sure that I get home smoothly. So, I was so scared the day I packed my stuff. Things were sent back home. They didn't understand. I just said, you know what? I'm coming back. Rest in peace to a friend of mine that took her life through the whole crazy process because she was going through mental issues as well. And I lost a friend as well, also another one who just died in the flat. It was just crazy times, like a lot of crazy things was just happening around me, and I was like, what's going on? And then I literally came back home, got to the airport, tests were done, at least I was COVID free, and then it hit when I got home. And then I came back home. Ma'am, can I tell you, I didn't even stay 2 months. I was just like, wait, I just arrived, what's going on? Healers, people left, right, and center. I started doing it slowly, but surely got the hang of it, trusted my guides, trusted my instincts, listened to my guides, as difficult it was. Fast forward. Here we are, but my being a Gobela journey was not easy because my first experience with my initiate was the worst. It's unfortunate because we have to learn through other people. I think I took her in. Even she showed me flames, and I mean it's easier for people to betray you. I mean, somebody can say I didn't ask you to have my best interest at heart, but for somebody who stays with you for the longest of time, it's easy for people to believe everything that they say about you, regardless is it true or not. People can be very spiteful. That was one experience that literally threw me off, and I was like, you know what, I don't think I want to do this anymore. That one initiate broke my heart. I think there's no one who's close to me who does not know that story. She broke my heart. I remember I was like, hey man, I don't want to do this anymore. I told my guides, I was like, hey guys, if this is what you guys wanted, like I left my dreams, I left my aspirations, my life was on hold. For this. Trust. It was the worst. But I think it helped me because now I'm better at I don't attach like that to initiates because Monamoto can change tomorrow. Any day. It's the people that will believe them that will shock you, because I heard a lot of stories about me that were wild. I was like,
is that me?
The same me? That's when things started. Hey, Kaone does this. Kaone is cruel. You are saying I did that to you? Me? From about? Guys, nobody's perfect. I mean, I have a very open door policy with my initiates, whereby if you feel like I'm not okay or I've done something that did not sit well with you, you're open enough to come to me and say, I didn't like this, or I'm not comfortable with 1, 2, 3. But if I've gone through the worst, I've seen my mom go through the worst, and we've decided, you know what, this is not how we're going to do things here. The people that we were most kind to are the people that came back and hurt us the most. And I was like, out of everyone, Kwena. So, I mean, you can't go to people and say, did she say this to you? No, that's a lie. I didn't need to explain myself. It was the most difficult part of my life. I had to mourn. That
literally.
I know that was big. That was big, but I've grown, man. I'm grateful for the growth, even though it was painful. But being a gobela is not easy. So much is expected from you. So much is needed from you. Some initiates are very entitled. You deal with personalities. You deal with would be like, you know where I come from, you know. It's a lot. And for ancestors to trust me with that, I'm still angry because sometimes the certain experience that it puts me through, I'm just like, so I had to give up my dreams and aspirations for this.
Yes.
You go all out for somebody, and in return, and you're just like, okay. It was a difficult part of my life. Some people know me through certain experiences that are not even true. Things that people would say about me because of bitterness. Some people because of jealousy, whatever the case may be. I mean, not everybody would love me. Not every initiate that I've initiated would still sing praises of saying, she helped me, or you know, some people just want to be here for that time. And after they leave, you hear stories and you're like, you know, and it's already filed. It's the initiate. It's not like you don't know. It's just that we don't have a jury to go and cry at. But it's always a gobela thing. Oh, gobela this, gobela that. But people tend to forget that we are human, and being a gobela at my age is not easy. It was not easy when I started, which was 2021. Yo!
Like, how does one know?
Okay, so what had happened was when I left for Turkey, I had one initiate that was on my case, Baba, dreaming of me all the time, and she was telling me that, but I didn't want to meet some people would dream of me, and I was like, it would never fascinate me. Please, you dreaming of me would never fascinate me. It's a lot of work because how to assist our you need to stay away from a lot. I don't know how other people do it, but it takes so much from your time emotionally, so it takes a toll on you. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
So I feel like it's a lot. And then my uncle came, who's also a healer. I was like, yeah, dude, who you're supposed to, like, and stuff. And that confirmed everything. I wanted to confirm beyond reasonable doubt. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So initially, your first initiate as a healer. So and I was even gone. I was like, hey guys, do whatever you guys need to do. I'm right. Lobola guys, it's so that's when problems started, man. That's when problems started. People would DM me, people would dream of me, and I was like, yo. So yeah, when people dream of you, people this is the certain person that needs to help you. Or if you see me in your dreams, not because of Shebalete. Now you're thinking about me all the time. Now you're dreaming of me. Please learn to differentiate these dreams now.
Is it a matter of that person back? I get there are certain things no,
no, definitely. There are signs. Yes. You know, if I've not seen, there'll be some sort of connection. If not, my ancestors will guide me. Like, to make a very recent example, for an example, the day he was coming in, I had a vision the night before. His grandfather came to me and told me, listen, 1 2 3 1 2 3, and it happened exactly like that. Even when he got into the house, I got shivers down my spine. I told my mom that I'm getting a new initiate. And that's when I got to see, and everything that I said he related because he saw the same things. You know, there was some sort of connection. If I don't dream about you, sometimes I'm told about you. So maybe when I'm dreaming, sometimes my mom sees them, or sometimes my other initiates dreams of them. Or sometimes or sometimes if not, I'll literally just
this person.
But I don't just take in people, guys. There's a lot of people that say Bamponi, and I don't play like that. Please don't do that. I don't take that lightly. I have a lot. I have, like I said, guys, a lot of things that I wanted more to learn, but some things had to wait a bit. I wanted to be a global trotter. I wanted to travel the world, of which I'll still do, and of which I still do travel here.
But limited because
it's
of your
not like I want to because manjing bushiwela. I can't just leave. That's why it gets me so angry when somebody can't just take simple instructions because, dude, my life is on the line and y'all are playing.
Yeah. Rebecca, your first ever healing feedback. How was that for you? And then feedback it. How was it for you? Because I know for me, I need to guarantee.
When you know it's real.
So for how was it?
Man, I don't want to lie to you. Okay, my first experience with seeing Matlabadimo that shook me was the time I realized So was a time when we were in church. One of my mom's initiates, my mom's first initiate. Okay, my mom's second. I think I was her first. Like, okay, right?
Yeah,
practically. So ha na nexetse ke twasita nexetse na dijaranyana ke fitile ha se tsa tsene e be nna gore because like my mom initiated at a later stage in her life as compared to me, which frustrates me because what's gonna happen when I'm her age, you know, I'd be so done, like so even na yone eo ya gore she was sick, and then I was told do this, do that, and then I was in a trance, and I went to her, whatever I did to her, and then I took out stuff from her body, and I was like, wait, what is this called? Like when I gained consciousness and was like, okay, this is what you took out of her body, and I was like, wait, where? From what? And I was like, I didn't believe it. Oh my gosh, I was super like, no, I was very impressed with myself. I was like, no, let's get it on. What? You know? Because even the things that I took from her body were not things
that's supposed to be there.
You're just like, okay, but how do I even do that? Magic, what?
Magic.
Yeah, it was magical. I was like, okay, no, wow, okay, cool, okay, no, cool, get that, what? And then my first bata, I remember, nikitira bata, prepare bata, and then for somebody who not look at tender. I was so scared. That was my first rodeo. I remember one of Basibility Baruna, who was only Mosibility at that time, came and said, hey, dude, Mama was like, you know, and okay, after I removed those things, that lady was healed. Like she life
is better.
And now you're better.
Life is better. You know?
And then that was my first ever bata. I was so scared.
Man.
And I took these things. I'm like, okay, I need to mix this and that. Okay. And then I'm like, okay, what next? So there was like a voice in me telling me, this is how you do it.
This, do that. Yeah.
And then I did that. And then 2 weeks later, then the patient called my mom to say, you know, I was awarded, I got a job, you know, so even more. And I was like, oh, what? When my mom called me, was like, hey, dude, I've got news for you. Patient phone needs it. I was ecstatic. And I was excited. I was like, okay, let's do this. I think seeing what I could do, not because what I could do, but seeing what Badimo put me through, but what then the rewards could do for people. It was that's the one thing that keeps me going till date, to say, if you can make a difference in somebody's life, that's the assurance that I need. And that's everything that literally keeps me going, to say, this is you at work.
No, gogo ha badimo batla mo gwena badimo ba bogogo like your initiates batla like how ba refer as who, as Kaone or as Bongani?
Hey man, y'all's ancestors ambushed me. they ambush me because in most cases it's not a thing. Koko, make it okay, it's never like that. It's through visions. Maybe and then they'd say what they want, and then they'd specify for who. It's not a thing. You know, it's very rare. I mean, one of my initiates, in a sense, we'd have like a conversation where you feel like you're getting an out of body experience, or one of that surreal moment, and now everything is happening, and suddenly you're just like, okay, when did I sleep? What's going on? Or maybe when I'm sleeping, then because I'm already familiar, some of them would just come, okay. They wouldn't really say, Thokozan, how are you? Okay, good, great, how's things? No, they'd come maybe if they're complaining or something, or they have a message to rely, or if they have something they want me to do.
Yeah, okay. Like, who feel like I feel like it's such a who I kids get her saying like, oh, but you seeing dead people, you'll talk you to dead people. Do you ever feel like that was an or like?
Oh yes, I do get such experiences.
Yeah.
I think it gets better with time. At first I was like, yo, it feels like you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Like, am I normal? You know? Especially the fact that even when I'm driving, dude, I sometimes see like ghosts because of the spurs that were not picked up. And this is on a true story. It's not that I'm big. Don't come for me, guys. Honestly, just give me a break. This video is not about me trying to be, respected or anything. This is literally just my experience, and I really have no reason to be lying, because also what am I getting from it? So it sometimes it gets tiring, especially if maybe or maybe even get to see the person who's crying foul is the problem. You know? And it gets very scary sometimes, because I mean, you can't get used to it. Especially if maybe you're giving consultations and then somebody's family just vumbugas because of rona ba re kgonang go femba gore mamang is here, and it gives an out of body experience. It's very draining, especially also how femba it takes a lot from you spiritually. But it gets very scary. But I'm grateful that I'm able to help. That's why I know what badimo ba thusa when you're doing it for the greater good and not for your body. But guys, they are very scary. They are very scary, but you're just here. I'm able to do things that not normal people and ordinary people. You get to realize that I'm actually gifted because of certain things that you're able to do. Maybe connecting with somebody's late parents, and you seeing how it makes them happy and how they found answers they've been looking for. I mean, that's just really what warms my heart. But it's a very scary experience. It's a blessing. Sometimes it's mostly a blessing. Sometimes it feels like a curse, because sometimes you're just like, but also I didn't want this. Sometimes it's information that you'd rather not, and sometimes you're seeing things that you'd rather not have seen, honestly. And you don't get to choose. It's a cold world.
It's
crazy. It's crazy. And you feel like sometimes I'd ask myself, am I even alive? You sometimes feel like you're immortal or something. But being able to do that, I guess
it's kind of cool sometimes, ne?
Yeah, most of the time, especially with people that are actually shocked at what you can actually get to do.
Okay, Arvega, your Mozambique chapter.
Yes.
Okay, Lilo Mozambique. How was that for you? Learning the difference between Bongakaba Mozambique and Bongakaba on either from this side, Mundawa Mozambique, Mundawa on either side. How was that?
I wouldn't put that through for anyone.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even wish that for my worst enemy, because it's difficult. Bongakaba Mozambique is very hard because also the language barrier, understanding how things are done, and doing things the way they expect you to do it, I love the fact that I already had background and I already could do a lot of things when I went there. So I was asking myself, what had I not been able to do certain things, how much struggle people go through? It is very difficult. You know, there was a point where I had given up. There was a point where I was cooking meat and it was off. There's no fridges and I'm seeing the meat is off, but yes, I'm preparing it and I'm going to eat it. I was 150% out of my comfort zone all the time, having to be okay with not being okay. Allowing certain things to be done and just allowing yourself and just trusting the journey. But I was just working on faith. You brought me here.
Yeah.
And I let myself be and allow myself to take in every challenge that I came across. It was very hard. It was difficult. At one point, I was like, it was the most painful thing. Having to walk from the river for hours, barefooted, you're expected to be doing certain things, having to dance all night until the sun came up. And I was like, and my initiates complain.
Hey.
For a few hours.
Hey.
Guys, there was a point like I was crying because I was with my niece and I was like, if I'm going through so much pain, how much is she going through, you know? The whole night letters is not jokes, guys. It's not jokes. And in the morning, you have to slaughter your own goat.
Manpower.
From there on, you are supposed to literally sit in the dark in a room isolated. How you're needing a toilet, you come back, you are beaten. And I remember there was a point my niece was so pressed. It's like, I'm never leaving this room because I know the there's no oh no, coming, wait there. You are running everywhere, you don't even know what's going on. And having to eat was yeah, no, it was very traumatic. That's one chapter that I amen. Privacy taken away from you. Feeling so vulnerable and feeling like how not choice, but like you just laying like you're there. Beula. There were times where I was pulling things out of my skin. Because oh my god, guys.
I'm not trying to just see literally. Mozambique was not nice.
I was not okay, man.
Yeah.
After that, I was just praying to God. I really pray this is my last rodeo, my nigga. I'm praying because there's no way I'm doing this ever again. Mozambique was traumatic. The toilet is a dog. Like, it's literally a hole. What? What was that? Traveling for days. And I'm like, nah, dude.
Yeah.
Hey, man, it was a lot. And that's literally just like... You're
not even revealing the details.
No, it was not nice. It was not.
How did you deal with the initiates? Like the different personalities? How?
I honestly don't know. There are days where I ask God why. Because like I said, I mean, they're very difficult people. Their initiates by a lot of initiates change, especially or after Ndwas. You see people can pretend. I've seen that people can pretend. I've learned I've learned to read people. And there's messages in every action. Some of them are conniving, some of them will set a trap for you. Some initiates are literally the weapon that's formed against you, you know. Honestly. And otherwise, others are beautiful, others are a darling, man, and you'd really enjoy guiding them, you know. but I don't know how. I think I'm just equipped. But I just knew, because
Yeah.
in normal circumstances, other situations after I've left them, I'm just like, how did I handle that chilled? Like, you get angry over again for what? And I was just like, so everything, I mean, you are equipped. Not everybody can be a gobela. It certainly needs to be a calling. Otherwise, but how I'm doing it is just modimo le badimo. Honestly, I can't tell you, because there are days where it's very frustrating and I'm just like, I don't want to do this anymore. But we keep going, because you didn't choose this life for yourself. So I honestly don't know, man. I keep telling them, because there are certain times where I'm just like, I don't know how I did that. But I think it's just all the modimo le badimo. I can't take credit for anything.
When it comes to tshebeletso ya baporofeta, I think I've spent enough time learning how to like the naganang ka teng and the secrecy e re buying ha re bua ka tsa bosebeletsi. So bosebeletsi for you, wena o le Kaone re be bongane go thoko, wena as Kaone, bosebeletsi mo go wena ke eng se goreng se go phao se bona o phusha mare bosebeletsi as this, and re tlhoka go sireletsa bosebeletsi jang and things like that.
Yo, man, Vula Mazulu. Adding on to the previous question also, I think going to initiate at a young age, it made sense why I'm getting very young initiates. A lot of people would ask, why especially bana ba ileng gore batsadi, they've tried so much gore ba phatlhelwe like I did, because batsadi ba ganne dineo, now the wrath is on the kids. And I know better now, because I'm the person that I needed when I was going through the journey, because I did not have the support that I felt like I needed. And because obviously now that I've went there at a younger age, I'm able to be in a better position to understand young kids, and know, this family, this is what I've been through, and da. And being able to help. But Khotosaka at a very young age helped me, because I stuck to the rules of what I was told. I get like I mean, man. I see a lot of people doing the weirdest of things. You can fake little. People can do that, and they're really doing that very well. And it takes somebody who really knows what they're doing to be able to tell the difference. Because people get away with a lot of things. People, I mean, who are we gonna ask if that's true or not? And not to say people, they know. Even my initiates, we have time to play, we have time to joke around. But when it comes to do I really can't waste my time like that to come and want to be chilling with people that fake. And I don't even want to waste my time like that to be here faking instead of me living a life that I've always wanted for myself. Bosebeleti is very pure. That is why you can't fake it.
Never.
You can't. It needs you to be very aligned and spiritually so. Because and inside because you always have to operate from tapelo. You need to operate from the spirit. You need to and how you can't survive because then what you feed grows. So that is why you understand. So first and foremost, you need to be able to sacrifice a lot of things because Mosebeletsi o tlhoka only clean. Manje clean one way. Mosebeletsi needs you in your most purest state, in a sense of staying away, abstaining from sexual activities, intimacy, and all of that. You should be able to know when to talk, when not to, when to do things and when not to do things. That is why rona re dumela gore ha o le mo matsatsing a o tshware dio tsa botshebetso ha o direng o ikilela di 7 days and what not. So the problem with group ya no yana ya bosebeletsi ke gore people just want to be seen, people just do things. Bosebeletsi bona le sephiri le buila tshwantse o nne le sefuba. You know, you should be forgiving. Yo guys, I was one person who was always ready to fight, you know. And before I took this journey, I was I was angry. I was quick because a lot of events led to me to being mature before my time, because of the things that I had to experience and go through. But I was ready to stand up for myself because I was mostly misunderstood by family, friends. I was treated differently from everyone else, so I knew that I only have myself. So I was ready to protect anything and everything that comes to me. But you need to allow situations to not favor you. In certain situations, you just need to be like, yo, there's a principle that you need to allow yourself to be used. But until when? There comes a bit of unfairness there. But the one thing that I'm grateful for is being able to abstain and being able to get to where I need to go faster. You know, it was easy for me to fast because praying was part of our life and how we do things. And it was not difficult for me because I'm a late bloomer. You know, I was not into mejolo. I was not mosebeletse ha o rate dilo tse di snacks.
O khalema fast.
Ha o rate dilo tse di snacks ba bosebeletse bo iphitlha bo fitlha, you know. O nna le seriti, tshwantse o nne le seriti, not to say that you need to pray to ask for how you carry yourself, how you speak, your choice of words, how you choose to do things, so the difference is that we are a generation where we don't care. I do what makes me happy when I'm nobody can tell me what to do. It's always an excuse. You want to be dancing on tables, but it does not match what you are doing. Like it needs to match, you know. Next thing you go PH, I'm here chair. Like nothing bad with that. But kimona kadi botolo kimuti spin the botolo. Come so patient taga kimona kya.
It doesn't connect.
Harare don't have fun, but there's ways of doing it. And the group of people that you keep around you, they need to understand that you don't do a certain. And people leaving you, it's not because some people hate you, people feel like you're omoloyoring. Sometimes it's bound to happen. Imagine having to explain yourself to the same people every time. Why now you're not doing this anymore? Why now you're not allowed to do this? Every time it feels like your life is so difficult because you have to keep explaining. So then the people that are in your circle that understand your way of life, your new way of doing things, people that actually gravitate towards you, that share the same sentiments, that believe in the same things, that understand, even if they don't believe, but respect that. So because people, they are vile, but you know, people just do things. That is why like because also in what they have and what they're doing, they don't even respect that. And what you don't respect can't grow. What you don't respect can't be beautiful. And when you respect when your journey, it will respect you as well. What you do will stick. There'll be a difference when you do things. So that is the difference. And being able to, I think I will keep saying that. It's the most important thing. I say that to you guys, and it's difficult, but once you get used to the hang of it, it's easy. I've never introduced myself to the fast life. I think for me that is why it was easy, but it's very difficult for somebody who's lived half their life and then suddenly you're told these are the rules. Change cannot happen overnight, but once you tell yourself, or you're not, I'm able to do this. So snacks not to say you can't even laugh at things, but don't get carried away. Know when to draw the line. Know that there's barriers. How we do things. There's a protocol of doing things and how we do things. You don't just do things to be seen so that you should be able to forgive. You should be able to put people first. You should be able o tsereganya mara tse dintseng company ka emela go batho re ka lapa but yeah, that should be the difference. I'm hoping I answered the question.
No, it's a good more in terms of the kereke and things like that. So when a papa is in between
so basically what happens is that I get now people should note that I'm talking about my experience and how I do things. Things can be done differently from your end of the world or how you were taught. Different impandes, different strokes, different flows, right? Go tlhatlhoba ka marapo go na le motho o tlhatlhobang ka letlozi ke lone le lebalang marapo letlozi le tsena kae ko moyeng moya go bereka mosebeletsi wa go bereka moya that's why re tlhatlhoba ka tlhogo re tlhatlhoba le ka moya ko o re ka metsi ko bosebeletsi so marapo ditaola letlozi ke tsa mongudi tsa bongaka bo metsi Bible moya tlhogo tsa bosebeletsi depending on a patient ta etsena na go na le patient e leng gore di mo sa re se ganana le marapo or le muthi so depending on that person na go mo halatla marapo you can't read or him but how ya ka metsi or how ya ka tlhogo or how ya ka moya hela you can get ditaba tsa gago
and that's okay. Kind of about when somebody and things like that.
Yes.
We have many ways of healing and doing an So, in terms of arrow bricks I meet. Obana emo meeting, obana emo the Bible, because some use Bible, and things like that. So is it a thing of how Sheba you see whatever or in a kind of or from what you're seeing or what exactly happens?
So it depends. For some people, and then there's somebody who can see a picture of things happening or visions through the water. Same as Spili. Spili, there's certain things that they do to you. The patient through the mirror and see the people. It's like a movie of whatever it is that you came there to see. So yeah, it depends on already I'm getting ditaba ha bua le metsi o bona di picture mo gone o mong sees visions mo gone.
Okay, now medium and hofemba. Is there much of a difference between a medium and mutofemba?
Now you need to understand hofemba could just be a medium. Maybe the language is different. Yes. But there's different ways. It's hofemba. There's a way way a lot of people would see on TV. Yes. There's another way I'm able to connect to your ancestors and see them and explain and then there's a way where I have to summon them where and it's a whole long process. There's different ways. It depends on
Arvega baluzi of Mandao.
Okay.
For when a baluzi how does a person alimo horno kinine baluzi for when a badumba baluzi baberekaya? Because I get any retalosa baluzi in different ways. For when a rotle baluzi babereka in different ways. For when for baberekaya.
Hey man, now I'm gonna talk about my experience. Somebody else would make me feel as though what are you saying?
Wrong and things like that.
But Badimo, they work in mysterious and different ways, and we thank God for that. Balozi ke badimo ba ileng gore they are part of the hierarchy amanda. Right? Ke badimo ba metsi, ke badimo ba dithaba, ke badimo ba ileng gore they mostly use chirping sounds. You know, chirping in the sense like melody, whistles, chirping birds and stuff. Growing up, I used to feel like I'm Matilda, man. I always felt like I have those powers, you know. I think like you'd always know. Yeah. Until you figure out, that is why.
That's why.
That's why I
Yeah.
used to do that.
Yeah.
But I used to whistle a lot. I used to make sounds, get whistles, and feel like I could communicate through that. I loved the chirping of birds, you know. And then, you know, whereby I communicate through whistles and communicate through this language, lozi language that I can speak, but in my normal self, I can't tell you what's being said. But when I'm in a trance, I'm able to communicate.
Yes.
Then wherever I am and I need to communicate through that and whistles and communicate, I get to hear them, and the sounds they make, it makes sense.
Yeah,
That's weird. It
True.
makes sense. I can tell what's being said or what needs to happen, as well as communicating with the animals that I use. I'm able to do that. So I don't know how. Please don't ask me. I don't know. I don't know. It just happens that I can, which is weird. I was very weirded out when I realized that is the reason why I'd usually just make those sounds. I'm going to communicate with that bird. You know?
Yeah.
And I just whistle back, and I feel like I'm having, you know, and I thought I was just doing it. You know how until I understood and was told how to now do it in a way of communicating and being able to. Yeah.
No, totally good. All right, now a bit of your personal life.
Okay.
You won't delve into your net because more you're not about that again.
Yeah.
We might talk about our personal lives here and there, but we know a limit to everything.
Yeah.
So you as Kaone Nkosi, you wish maybe la go thwasa ke so ka se change or sa change or something that you wish you could still do o le Kaone.
Okay, with regards to my journey and having to say anything could have been done differently, could be the struggles.
Yeah.
I didn't have to go through all that for that to happen, you know.
Yeah.
But how things could have turned out different, I can't really say, because how different would I want it to be?
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I knew. So however different would have been, if that makes sense.
True.
So I can't really change how the events turned out, but the struggle, the sickness and all of that, I don't think it was necessary. And the situations that I found myself in, I was like, did I deserve that?
Yeah.
You know, that is the only thing that I'd literally just say, couldn't that been
different?
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I can't change the journey. I mean, I didn't create the journey. I don't think there's a manual of how it should be. I mean, that was my journey. So, but if there's anything that I wish that I could do, I wish that I could live my life.
Amen.
From not having to consult my ancestors.
Can
I do this? Because you guys live y'all's life,
hey,
you know, and I sometimes feel like correct the mistakes and somebody's living through me, which sometimes I just feel like it's unfair. And this is the part where the other gang would be like, but what's the use of you know? But it's just that I think I sometimes wish I could. I don't really like friends, but I wish that I could have like a bestie. You know? Somebody who can relate to at my age, or some travel around sisterhood type of vibes, cute things, you know. I sometimes wish that I could just live life on my terms, Brian. You know, just live normal like other people. Get to go miss church for a month and still be fine and not sick, you know. Live and go live my best life without anything at the back of my mind. I'm not supposed to be doing this. Maybe who's looking? Oh, am I doing it right? You know, because there always has to be that word, that voice at the back of your mind that says, calm down, don't get too excited. But yeah, there comes a time where I feel like I've skipped a stage, enjoy my youth to the fullest, and I sometimes wonder, would it even ever catch up with me, or I was able to handle it? Or if maybe I'm a kemotamonati, you know, and I don't even know, because I never really got the chance to explore that.
No, we know you from Herrera and stuff like that. Some people find maybe peace or something from you or rera bang ba kry words of encouragement and bang ba utlwa ko ba shaya ngaphakathi ha o rera ko itse keng. So for wena terror entle e tla yang go ra le go bona o tutuga o rera go iragalang o tsa ka e mahoko a tla bo wa bua like what happens ha o rera.
Shoo, okay. Yo. Okay, listen, I don't even think
yeah.
Growing up, and I think horera is a part of your life whereby you're spiritually inclined because I think you should not just be rearing for the sake of it, but it should touch somebody, it should change somebody, it should do something. So you need to get to that point in life, because I mean, growing up, that's that. Until one time, you know, until such a time where and I just felt this burning sensation inside of me that just said, open your mouth, stand up. And then next thing I'm up and I'm talking and people are just saying hallelujah, and I'm just like, oh my God, what's going on? And I just kept going, you know? I kept going until I started getting used to that. Every time and they're saying the right things and they're punching it, it just gives me those and automatically there's things that I can say and I don't even think about it. And you're just going with the flow. I think then you'd be more at that point. So I don't know anything besides that. It just happened that I could. Just the same way it just happened one day that I took those things and something was like beta. And then nobody taught me.
Well, I get.
So I think everything was just me winging life.
Okay, how was it growing up? Obviously, the things you can do and things you cannot do. So, for when I'm growing up in that situation, or people are always in and out. How was that situation for you?
It was overwhelming. It was overwhelming because you need to understand that growing up, my mom was still struggling, and we hardly saw her, right? But it was not as intense as it is as the years went on after So the time whereby she was dying and we felt like, okay, this is our time to be with our mom and enjoy her. Now we start having to have other kids. But what I'm told, it's always been like that even before I was born. Because my parents have always been and being, you know. And next thing you know, there's a lot of other people there that needs your mom's attention, and you get jealous, you get frustrated, you get angry, and you're like,
why am I sharing my mom?
You know, there are times where you just want to be mukhalona and not have other people there. Growing up, that's how I felt. But I got used to the idea, this is your life, this is what your mom was called for, to help other kids. But trust, I don't want that for my kids.
Please.
I don't want that for my kids. Because in the midst of doing good, in a way, because there are certain things where you just feel like you can't build a relationship with your folks, and they don't even understand you. You can't voice out certain things because you need to always be wary of other people. You need to make sure that you don't make them feel out of place and feel like
you feel like PK. So
people
always
a lot was expected from me because and I'm expected to be perfect. I'm expected to not be doing certain things. I'm expected to be doing. Now you're seen as the princess. Now everybody wants to be close to you just for that reason. You know? And now people are similar, they're trying their luck. The boys.
Hey, leave.
Yeah, preparing back then, and I think I've always been a principled girl, honestly, and I've never really been taken or carried away by emotions or feelings. But fast forward to now, I'm used to it. I've accepted the fact that I'm human. I shouldn't be living under anybody's shadow. It takes a lot of courage to want to break away from the expected norm. Whereby you do things, you know. So I've thought to myself, listen, you can go through the principles and represent your mom well, and you know, but you can also live your life to the best of your ability. People shouldn't feel like they're entitled to how you should act, who you should be, and how you should respond to life. But everything I should be doing it because I want to, and I feel happy doing it, and I've accepted my life the way it's been, because I mean there's nothing ever different that I've ever lived from what I'm living now. So what else do I expect? It's just that I'm used to it. I'm used to living I'm used to other people being helped. I'm used to mabala. I'm used to I'm used to I don't even see it anymore because it's a way of life. Like that's why if you sit for a long time, how's it to so I don't even see anything. It's just that sometimes it gets overwhelming, but I'm already used to it. It's the way we are living. Ke ngwana mabala go busy ke diagelo go ga lona batho ba tsena ke thapelo ke dituku ke mesese ke
le roiskete.
I'm used to it now. I can't say I have a problem with it, but I don't want that for myself. Go hug.
No, please. I no, okay. So re atumela go close off. What advice would you give? Somebody along maybe is your age. Because on a career advice bankana barona batun tota re kibile thata go tlala satle. Are people closer to your age ba leng gore maybe ke gona ba simulang leeto re ke gone ga reng dino tsa ma di suma go ba tshwenya, and now ba shibile khanya gore like skhatise se tsamaile ne o ka ntshwanya ke se ke re motona yana ba ire jang ke nyela soka ba se raya
newe ba tshwenya no yana
like I know it's like now it's like it's time for by go twasa and stuff, and like ba attend now ya bona like ba it's serious o ka re.
Hey man, just make sure you can nail first and foremost. There's a lot of things that are walking in the air. And people, there's a lot of things that we can't see that happen in the spiritual realm, because it's not everything sailing moya that is good. There's the good and there's the bad. And nakongwe utshunywa ke antu khala tshunya mo family, and now then she manifests in you, then you mo family. So please understand your journey and understand if it's a gift, what is it about and what does it entail. Because sometimes sometimes you just need to do something. You don't necessarily always have to go a pathway. You know, can it be beyond reasonable doubt that like I did, you know? Sleepless nights for 2 months, and next month one pass, you know, because it's a thing. And it's not always that how to but your life needs to show a difference. There needs to be a difference to show that that part is done. Whereby maybe now your life should make sense and things should come together where you're happier now, you're at peace, you're gaining weight, you're glowing, you're getting married, you're having kids. There's progress. There shouldn't be stagnation when still, unless it's not always the gobela, but it's also you not doing what is expected of you. Like I've shared with my journey, that things started being difficult because I was not wanting to do what was expected of me after the journey. So now my life is way better and I can see where I'm going. Not where I want to be, but there's a huge difference. But just be sure, that's 1.1. There's a lot of us as healers. There's a lot of people, but a lot of people, they lie. People would do anything just to get by. Some people just do things for money. So make sure it's where you need to go. Why? maybe let's say motho tla ba ya go gena o ya go gene o tla bo morare no ke a lwala ke tshwere ke se le senna and then they want to give you things to like bo ditlhare. I don't mind you giving me metsi a wa rapeletseng to help me clarify things, but people do things to people just to make them look like o mo gona gore ha tlile ba go tsenya bata gore next thing you find people that are fighting like why would you fight for initiates? It stresses me so much. Maybe because I didn't choose this for myself, but please just be careful and make sure that you know where you need to go, because your ancestors will never mislead you. That's if you're really called. And expectations ruin the entire experience. Because if things don't go accordingly, then the attitude towards the whole journey. And next thing, you want to compare yourself to my mom or me, for an example. I mean, a lot of people met me at my glory, but they don't know my story. A lot of my initiates came into my life where my life was just, progressing and booming. But if they had come but I keep getting sick. It takes years for you to perfect what you're doing. Not that you'll be an expert, but you'll have experience. It takes time for you to get to a certain space in your journey. So you need to wait it out and understand what if my ancestors are generous, it does not mean yours will be generous. Because they never went to school and they will never finally understand why you say you want to go to school. There are ancestors when you look at your family tree and you do your research, in their family, and now you can't find a job because they feel like no. History is reporting itself, but you need to teach them. Things are done differently. Sometimes you're not working because of that. Sometimes you can't go to school because of that. That is why you need to do research and understand why. So that you don't find yourself in a mix and then you're blaming innocent people for things. It's in your lineage. It's in the blood. That's how things are done. So you need to break the generational curse and change the way of doing things and how things should move. And that's right about it.
Do you do dream interpretations? Could you please explain this for me?
I do, but I've stopped doing that, especially online, because I've realized that a lot of people consult through dream interpretations. It's not always what you think it is. A certain part can do the whole context of the dream and something else. Then come so it's a hoo-ha. So I prefer somebody coming to see me so we chat about it and go through it.
Same as consultations, you don't do online consultations?
No, never did, because I don't bash anybody who does. I actually feel like this would have been better if we were live on YouTube. Then it would have saved people a long time, because automatically it was just gonna say but what I'm saying is that I don't do online consultations, mainly because I was not taught how I'm going to go about that. To make sure because the spirits in the end, there's the frequency. How do I? Sometimes you are lucky enough and you didn't even ask for it, or maybe something is going on, we're having a chat and then something's but I can't connect and say, okay, now this is only you now. I can't do it. Those that can listen, but as for me, I really can't do it. I can't. I online when there's so many things that's going on. So that's a special talent, and to those that can actually do that. We can't do everything as healers. Even though that does not mean we'll do online consultations. And me choosing not to do it, maybe I can, but I've never really lost sleep over wanting to understand how it's done, because I'm just asking myself a lot of questions. Focus. How will I really know?
Now Harry Tswala, what is it?
Yo, please listen to what I said with what I said.
Yes.
Don't come with interpretations on the side. Oh, no, don't. Please don't do that. What I said is what I said. There's no insinuations on the side. Or maybe she's saying, I'm saying what I'm saying. I'm not saying what you don't think I didn't say, but you are thinking I'm saying. Please. If you have any questions, pull through in the DMs. My email address is on my bio as well. Please don't dream of me. I beg of you. No, and if you really did dream of me, let it be legit. I don't want chance takers. I don't take chance takers and opportunists. I know people that are sent. I know that some people are sent in the disguise of being initiated or and it's unfortunate because a lot of people know me through people's experiences. If you want to get to know me and the person that I am, please make time to do that on your own.
Yes.
Because if we don't get it through somebody's lens, it's not going to make sense to you. I can't make everybody happy. There's a lot of people that I've helped that are not appreciative of that and that speak ill of me, and I know them.
Nicely like it.
On because there's more to life than petty things.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm honestly to hell, man. You know, if you take time to want to know and understand me, you'll realize the type of person that I am. I'm not saying I'm God's gift to the world. I'm not saying I'm the coolest thing since sliced bread. I'm human. I have feelings. I have emotions. The things that you say hurt me, yes. But I've grown to not take them to heart. And people are very petty. Some people will compete with you. People will be jealous. Some people would just have a problem with me. And because they don't get what they expected they'd get from me, on they were not able to use me like they thought they would. And then when it backfires, it's a push and pull type of thing. So yeah, please take time to want to know me on your own. Don't learn about me from other people. It's we relate to people differently. It's never gonna work. Because I've realized versions of me exist out there that do not even make sense to me, the person. There are versions of me that even the people that I don't know, they know me. And
you're like,
not even from above, but because of the hearsay, rather, I really respect somebody who loves me that much or cares about me or thinks of me. If you care about it that much and it means so much to you, rather ask me. Because a lot of people so yeah, let's do good. Let's do what needs to be done. What works for us. We are not trying to convince anybody otherwise. I'm minding my peace, and I wish everybody could mind their own.
Is Leeto open to touring and supporting other pandas or what?
I'm not told and I thought about that, but I just think it's not gonna work when we start introducing other things. It's going to change the whole thing. In Pande, they are different. People do things differently. We could tour as the way we get to visit people. People get to see us. This and that, Dilanchoni, have picnics, whatever, with Leeto and the later nights, whatever. It's not a problem. But Ndomba to Ndomba, other people will be pushing certain agendas, and that's not the platform for that. So then we are inviting unnecessary energy. And then by being carried away. So I don't think
it's a no. No, it doesn't. You being here and Leeto and sharing your journey and answering the questions. We always appreciate mafoka always there by the corner when needed, always just a phone call away. And thinking I'm speaking on behalf of Bogo. You're always there to guide, always there for right from wrong. But motsadi ke eng ha sa o money because from the comments I feel like right too and we get to correct the mistakes tseo tsa rona. Re khona go nna batho ba ntseng sentle mo shabeng. I get re nne bogel guide bogel of the moment le rona re bona re botshelo bo risa kae.
Yeah, and it's not an easy journey. Please trust. Nobody should come here and think the moment you're a healer, just know there's a time when you called a witch. There's a time when the people that you trusted will turn around and bite you. So you must be ready for anything. Don't have any expectations whatsoever. It's a very cold journey. It's hard. It's sad. It's
lonely.
Raining. It's lonely. It needs. I really pray that a partner support and be able to understand my busy schedule and being up and down and love me the way killing cutting and not expect much than what I can give.
Yeah. No, tatara leba mkhulu sharing your journey. Total leto you know just bits and bits rona re tle re utli ka mashila total leto la mkhulu. It's just that obviously go ne lo tsere filang gore I think public knowledge.
Definitely.
We share on some pandela, some fo.
Yeah. I think we need to be honest with ourselves. Yeah. I mean, a lot of things that we are not saying is the things that we really should be saying. Yes. Because Hompampet is not helping us reach anywhere. I don't do things to be liked or to be seen or to be accepted. That is why I've made peace with being able to be alone. Yeah. And my own friend. That is why you and I will get along. Only because not that I'm supposed to be correcting your wrongs, but Linda was so a lot of healers lie. A lot of people lie to be liked. People lie to be loved. I don't care about being loved, especially if it's for something. Then I have to keep putting on a facade and pretending so that I'm loved and accepted. No, I'm not here for that. But also, I can't really for me to be doing things for vibes. Honestly, right viable reasons why. Don't come away. No, wait to be relaying. Oh, no. Have tangible things.
And come correct.
Come correct or don't come at all. Don't come through the corners.
Yes. Go the straight man to man. You'll see you guys on another video. Babes. This is for me, Vula Mazulu Ntizokaji.
Hi, man.
Good night. Bye bye. Monday.